Hello everybody, I'm going to attempt a tutorial today. I'm going to show you how I made the slider card for Carla Jenkins and for Lexx. I want to enter another crafty challenge and I want to make a card to go with it. So I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone and show you how I made Carla and Lexx's card, but also at the same time make the card for this challenge. So the designs aren't going to be the same, but the concept is the same. So I may have to pause the video from time to time to get up and get things, but I have tried to prepare and put everything on my desk that I think I need. So you need a good quality cardstock to start with. I've got a piece of A4 here, and you want to cut it at A5. Now I don't know the exact dimensions of that, but basically A5 is half a sheet of A4, and on my paper trimmer I have those marked out for me. So I'm just going to use the guide and cut. The beauty of this is that you can get two cards out of one sheet of A4. Now my paper trimmer is not cutting brilliantly at the moment, so I need to replace the blade. I don't know if you can see, there's a little lip there. I've done some research into paper cutters because I'm also thinking it isn't cutting entirely true. So the guide wire might need tightening, but that's a bit boring. You don't really need to know about that. Now I've just found this piece of card in my stash and it has got a bit of cosmic shimmer marking on it, but that doesn't matter because I can use that for something else, incorporate that into the design in fact. But I'm going to use this piece. And I should say before I go any further that I got this idea from a lady on YouTube called Michelle Last. I've looked on her channel. She used to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator and her channel has been a little bit inactive of late. The last video she's put up was 3 months ago, which is a shame because I found her tutorials really informative. But let's carry on. So I've cut my card to A5. I'm going to just move that out of the way because I don't need it. So it tells me next in my instructions, I've got them written down, that I need to score at, I'm going to use this piece because I can use, that can be the inside and nobody will see. So you butt it up in your scoreboard into the corner, and I've got my score tool. It says I need to score at 12 centimetres, so I've got 10, 11, 12. Oh, gone a bit wonky there, doesn't matter. And then turn and score at 19 centimetres. So there's 20. So come in a bit and there is 19. Don't need my score tool anymore, so that can go away. I have got a little blip there where my score tool slipped, but that's okay. We can cover that up. So I'm going to fold, burnish that score line, and do the same with this, making sure that I've got the little splodge on the inside. And what we're doing here basically is making a little wallet like that. So that's going to be the top of our card. I did one for a challenge that I did portrait, but I think I'm going to do this one landscape. So what I'm going to do, I need to glue the bottom. You could use glue, but I'm going to use this very fine red liner tape. It's very strong, and I'm just going to put that down the bottom, Got my scissors, chop that off, turn my card round. Now I don't want the little bit showing, I think I want the big bit showing, so I'm going to put my tape on the edge of this bit here. Hope you've all had a nice day. I've put my vlog up today to premiere at 4:30. It's the feature you can use on YouTube Studio to set what time you want your video to be aired, so that's quite sweet. We'll see if that works. So I'm just cutting my tape there. I'm just going to peel it off. Bear with. Some people use little tools to get this tape off. I must apologise for the state of my fingernails. Chemo does mess with your fingernails, and mine are very weak still at the moment. My daughter's going to do them for me in a little while, so that'll be nice. So I'm just going to comb, smooth that down, use this so it sticks, and there we've got our little pocket. So this is called a slider card, and we're going to create, for those of you that haven't seen the card that I made for Lexx and Carla, we're going to create a little pocket that we're going to hide a little message inside here. So we just put that to one side for a minute, and for the front layer of your card you need to cut a mount of whatever colour you want, 14 centimetres by 9 centimetres. So that's going to give me a nice border. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down now so that I don't get confused. I did find another bottle of Carla in the drawer in the living room. I've got a drawer, set of chest of drawers in the living room that's got all sorts of crafty bits and pieces in it, mostly knitting and embroidery related, but there's a couple of bits and pieces to do with paper crafting in there. Most of my paper crafting stuff is in this room, and it does need a really good sort out. I'm going to perhaps have a go at it at the weekend. I think I mentioned a little while ago that Ella's got a new desk, and her old desk I'm going to make use of in here, as well as the desk that I've got, so I need to move things around. So I'm just going to eyeball that. The beauty of Carla is that it gives you wiggle room. So I think that's just about straight. Put that down. Now the person that I'm doing this challenge for likes birds. So I've got a few selection of stamp sets out that I'm going to create a background on. So this is the piece that's going to go on the front of my card to create a nice little matten layer. I am so bad at this, I'm really sorry. I do want to be able to film from top down, and hopefully I'll be able to do that in the near future. But we're going to create our background. So I'm going to come in with 3 colours of distress ink. I've got scattered straw, twisted citron and tumbled glass. And I'm going to go across the top with my tumbled glass. These are quite old and not very juicy, so I think I need to invest in some re-inkers. Come down a bit more with that. Want to overlap with the twisted citron. You could use oxide inks for this, but they don't give the beading effect that I'm after. And I want the kind of colour to overlap a bit with the sky and the grass. That's the idea behind it. You can't really see the colour at the moment. I'm just going to come in with a little bit of scattered straw maybe a little bit too much scattered straw. Interesting that that I think is an older ink than these, but seems a little bit juicier. Then I'm going to come in with a little bit of Cosmic Shimmer Pixie Powder. So I've got Teal Wash and Mango Blaze. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the Teal Wash in the kind of sky area. You probably won't see the camera picking that up, but there's a little bit there. I've got a big splodge there, that's fine, we'll deal with that. I mean, the beauty of these backgrounds is that you get what you get, you know. Coming in with a little bit of Mango Blaze. Now my block is much bigger than my piece of paper. I hadn't got a block that fit that paper size, so I'm going in with this big block, and we'll see what we get. So I'm going to spritz with water. And you can see the colour start to come to life on that. And I'm going to put my paper there, and I'm going to turn my block over because then I can see actually where I've got colour and what I want. So quite like there's a big splodge there, so come down a bit because I think I want a bit more blue than I do green. I'm just going to lightly press that down and lift off. Now I've got quite a wet mixture here. What I'm going to do, blot that with my paper towel. I'm going to dry it with my heat gun. Bear with, there's going to be a little bit of noise. You'll see the paper is warped a bit. That's fine. If you heat on the back, it helps it uncurl. Put that there. And I'm going to go in again. I've got some splodges left on my block. I'm going to go in to add a bit more detail with the speckles that you know I like. I'm sorry if the angle is all wrong on this. I am trying my best for you. Hopefully you'll get a sense of what's happening. And I'm going to come in again. Got a nice little bit of green and blue there. Splodge that down. I'm just going to pop that dry with my bit of kitchen roll. And I've still got quite a lot on my block. I'm going to give another little spritz of water. And let's see what else we get. There we go. A little bit of, oh, that's quite nice actually. I've got a bit of that green coming through. So there, I've got a very subtle background which gives a hint of grass and a hint of sky. So let's have a look at what stamps we've got now. Just put that out of the way. I've had this set a really long time from Craftwork Cards, and it's got a little branch and two little birds. I think they're supposed to be a blue tit and maybe a coal tit or something, and there's a little branch I'm going to use if I can get into the packet. So I'm going to pop the branch down first. This block will do for that. And I think that I want the branch coming that way. Or do I want it that way? Oh, now you see, I'm confuzzled. I think I want the branch that way. So I'm going to come in with my VersaFine ink. VersaFine is a good quality ink. As the name suggests, it gives you a fine impression when you've got a really detailed stamp. So I can see through my block. I'm going to leave a little bit of a border because I might do a little bit of hand stitching with my micron pen. So I'm going to come in there. And I have got some little gaps, that's fine. I'm going to come in. You could use a paintbrush, a dry paintbrush in your ink pad to pick up the ink, but I'm just going to come in with my little micron pen and fill in the little bit of detail where I haven't quite got a crisp impression. So just stamp off there. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, do another branch across, but I think I'm going to put a sentiment in this part here. So put this back on the acetate to keep it safe, and come in with my little blue tit and pop him there like that. Okay. Inking him up. And I'm just going to put him so that his little claws are sitting on the branch. And pop him down. There we go. Got a little tiny bit of his head missing. So I'm just going to come in with my pen and draw that in. You see? Now, I want something down here just to give a sense of something. And in fact, actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw in this branch right to the edge of the page, even though I want to do some hand stitching with my little pen. I'm just going to draw that to the edge of the page, colour it in with my micron pen, so the little bird is sitting on that little tree. There you go. See? You can't see because I'm rubbish at this. I am sorry. Now I'm going to pause you there while I go off and find something to go on the bottom and a little sentiment to go in the corner here. I don't want this card to be too fussy, so I'll be back in a moment. Just bear with. So I've found this old stamp from Sheena Douglas. She's a lovely crafty lady, full of the joys of spring. She's really, really lovely. Grass Silhouette, this is called. So I'm going to give this a go. If I ruin this piece of card, doesn't matter. It is, after all, just a piece of card. So I've gone and I've mounted this big stamp onto my acrylic block, and I'm going to go in with my ink. Now I'm not going to use the whole of this image. I'm not going to use the whole height. But I can see the outline of it, and I'm going to come up like that and press down hard. And I'm going to give my ink a minute to sit. Just making sure that that is all pressed down. If I make a mess of it, it's not a disaster. As I say, at the end of the day, it's a bit of ink and a piece of card, isn't it? Let's see what we've got. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, do you know, that's actually not bad. So we've got a little flower meadow going on there. Now, I haven't really looked in my sentiments, but I thought I would just perhaps use I don't know. Shall we go with best wishes from this? I don't know. Oh, I'm all confuzzled now, everybody. I'm all confuzzled. Oh, I found this little set, which is For the Love of Stamping by Hunky Dory. I think I'll put Make a Wish or Especially for You. What do you think? Make a Wish or Especially for You? Can you see that there? I think we'll go for Especially for You. Stamp that in the top corner here. And yeah, I'll just put that there like that. Let's get my ink. Oh, it's quite nice. It's quite nice. Quite nice. Now, with the Cosmic Shimmer Pixie powders, you will get a lovely little iridescence. That does sometimes mean that your stamp won't stamp properly because there's a little bit of mica on the card. But I just think that adds to the effect, really. So I'm going to stamp that there. We should get a nice sound. That's nice. Now I just want to add a little bit of colour to my little blue tit here. So what I'm going to do, put this big stamp away and use my acrylic block as a little platform. There we go. Just pop that on my trimmer for now, save time. Pop that there, pop that there. I'm getting all in a mess, everybody. So just going to put a little bit of, this is called Crushed Olive. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to come in with my water brush and pick up a little bit of the, can you see how I'm getting a little bit of paint on there? This is like watercolouring, so I'm just going to colour him in a little bit, just give him a little bit more definition. And squeeze that out. Clean that. And then I thought a little bit of blue, as he's a blue tit. So I'm going to use a little bit of this Midnight Blue Cosmic Shimmer Pixie powder. Get some, actually I don't need water because I've got my water brush. And it doesn't matter if it's got a bit of the green in it. Come in and paint him. You could take a lot of time over this if you wanted to. I'm just doing a little bit of painting. Now I've got some stuff on my block I'm not going to waste. I'll show you the bird in a minute. Got some scraps of card in here. Let's find a little bit to mop up. So you've got a little bit that I've cut down from something. I was going to pick the colour up. Oh, look, I've got a bit of purple in that. That's nice. So that'll come in for one of my little cards that I give to my Etsy customers. Just picking up all the stuff off that block. That's quite nice, isn't it? So that block can go out of the way now. So I've just got a very subtle background there. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come back in with my card base and my glue, and we're just going to simply glue this to the front. You could make your design on the front as simple or as complicated as you want. You could use some patterned paper and stick a sentiment on, but I do like the, there we go. Come in with my little tool if I can find it, just to glue that down. There we go. Okay, we're going to put that to one side for a minute, and we're going to work on our base. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the background. I'll come back to you when I've done the background and I'm ready to stamp what's inside the card. So I've nearly finished this background and I'm loving the effects I've got. I've put quite a lot of water on, and you can see I've got this kind of, and I've let it drip, so I've got this kind of wash effect. Then I love this little bit of blue. So I did the same colours as the front of the card, but I left out the scattered straw, and instead of using the teal wash pixie powder, I used that midnight blue. And I've got a couple of areas that are a little bit white in the card. I want to just add a bit of detail to those. So you can see I've got some spots on my block. I'm going to just take my card and pick up some of those dots. Being careful not to get blue in the green and green in the blue, but it really doesn't matter. You can see I'm just very delicately tapping the card in. And I've got all sorts of colours. Got a little bit of orange there from the Mango Blaze pixie powder that I used, which just gives a little bit of fun interest really. Now I've got a little bit of blue, a little bit of white showing up in that corner, so I've got a bit of blue left on my block. I'm just going to reactivate it with a bit of water and just go in. I don't know whether you're seeing this, and pick up a little bit of colour, and you've got a bit of purple in that midnight blue cosmic shimmer powder. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a dry with my heat tool, so excuse the noise. Okay, so we've got to decide what we're going to put on this one now. I want to stay with the birds, I think. But I'm really liking that background, lots of interest in there, and that's why I love doing this smooshing technique, as I call it, because you never know what you're going to get, and it looks like you've spent ages on it, but in fact you haven't. I have, before I go on with my insert for my card, I am going to pick up the ink that's on this block, because waste not, want not. Now I've got a scrap of card here. I printed something ages ago when we had a different printer, and I got marks from the printer on the card. A lot of people would throw that away, but the other side of the card is absolutely perfectly fine, and if I use this side as my image, then that's going to be stuck down. No one's going to see that, are they? So I'm just coming in. I'm going to do a little smoosh. Instead of smooshing, I'm I don't know, smoothing. But I'm just picking up the colour that is on this block, and I've got quite a nice little background there. You might as well do this at the time that you're creating your backgrounds, because they come in. If you're a crafter like me, they come in. So that's going to go in my drawer for another day. Just give this block a wipe. Now we're still going to stick with the bird theme, because we want the theme of the card to carry on through, but I don't know what birds I'm going to use. Let's have a little look and see what we've got. So I've got this big bird image that I could place on there. Not sure. I suppose we could, and then I could add a little bit more colour with the oxide inks, perhaps. Let's give it a go. Should we give it a go? Now this is a new set that I've never used. It will have come free with a magazine. This is the hardest part when they're brand new like this, getting them off the backing. You see how it's fighting back, guys. It's fighting back. It doesn't want to come off. You want to try and do this carefully, because you don't want to stretch. Okay, it's come off now. Will it fit on this block? Let's have a look. Yes, it does perfectly. Okay, we've got that set down. So I'm going to move it up slightly, because that bottom leaf is hanging off a little bit. Oh. There we go, that's not too bad. Okay, come in with my VersaFine again. And I'm going to set this to the bottom, I think. Just so that it's a little bit in the sky. So I'm picking up the green for the leaves that are down there. And again, if I don't stamp this correctly, what have I wasted? A little bit of time and a little piece of card. If you're interested, and I'll put the dimensions of everything in the description box for you if you want to have a go at this yourself. So for the insert, the mount, you want 14 times 9.5 centimetres, and the layer, which is what I'm working on, 13.5 by 9 centimetres. And that's given quite a nice crisp impression. That's a nice quality stamp. And I don't think I'm going to colour that. What I have got, which I'm going to stick in the bottom right hand corner, which is also on this little free stamp set that was free with the magazine. I did look in Sainsbury's today for paper crafting magazines, but they hadn't got any in my branch of Sainsbury's. So yeah, well, I've got this little oh, come on out, come on, come on. I've got this little bird's nest, which I'm going to pop in the bottom corner there. Come in with my VersaFine again. And just eyeball. I'm going to stick that there, because I think I do want to do a little stitched border all the way around this. Now I don't want green eggs. I think I'm going to go in with let's see what this speckled egg looks like over that green. Pop that there. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my block. Come in with my water brush. I don't know whether this will sit over the top of this colour or not. Oh, it is actually. That just gives it a little bit more of a naturalistic colour, because I don't think I've ever seen green eggs. Have any of you seen green eggs anywhere? Blot that with my kitchen roll. And in fact, actually, because I'm using water, it's taken the distress colour underneath away. So I'm going to come back in with more of my distress speckled egg. That's appropriate, isn't it, for eggs, speckled eggs. And let's just dry that with the heat tool. There we go. What I might do, just to add a little bit of interest to that, come in with a little tiny bit of teal wash in that oxide there. Doesn't want to come out. Oh, it's because it's my glue, that's why. You are a numpty, Ashley. I'm never going to be a very good tutorial person, am I? There we go, teal. I was trying to get cosmic shimmer out of my glue. What am I like? There we go. So I've got a little bit of that on there. And I'm going to use a dry brush this time, because I don't really want to add any more water. Just put a little bit of water on the block. There we go, just to activate that. And wet my brush, pick up the tiniest bit of that in the oxide, come in and add a little bit of colour down the bottom of each egg, a little bit there, just to add a little bit of colour. And again, I don't want to waste this, so I'm going to spray my block. I'm going to get a bit of a splodge from the oxide, but never mind. Let's find a little piece of card, a little offcut. These two will do. Come in with that. Very subtle. Very subtle background, that one. I'm going to dry that with my heat tool. I'm picking up all sorts of colours off my block. Still got some on my block, so I'm going to mop that up, and I'll get just another layer of colour over the top. See, it's really subtle, but that'll come in for something. Just wipe this little excess off here. Pop that there. Now then, I do want to add just a little bit of hand stitching around the edge of this in a minute, but we need to find a little sentiment. I think I might handwrite, let's think, two little birds. Little birds. Let's put little birds. Enjoy the sun. And I'm going to just take this handwriting pen. It's the Beryl handwriting pen, a fine writer. I'm just going to make my stitch marks on the paper. I'm not very good at this, everybody, but it just adds a little something to draw the eye in to that focal image and stop the birds looking as if they're floating in midair. But of course birds do float in midair, don't they? Blue's just come in. She's sitting on the floor wondering what's going on. Don't know where she's been today. She's been very absent. You're going to come up and say hello to everybody. You know you're very important to my viewers. She's having a sniff underneath the tripod. If the camera falls over, it'll be because she's knocked the tripod off. Oh, she's jumping up. Come on, up you come. Up you come. Yay, go for it. Let's move my heat tool out the way. Oh, she didn't like that. Oh, and I've switched it on. She didn't like that. I've frightened her off now. Perhaps if we move these things out the way, she'll come up. You're going to come up? Say hello. No, she's looking at the heat tool very suspiciously. Very suspiciously looking at the heat tool. You can't really see what I'm doing here because I'm left-handed and obscuring what I'm doing, but I will show you in a minute. This is why I really want to be able to film top down, and lots of lovely crafters that I follow, I've asked them the question, how do you get your top down shots? And they've very kindly shared their filming ideas with me. But most of them have an arm that they clamp to their desk. Well, my desk, because it's got drawers, it hasn't got a lip, and it's got kind of like a waterfall edge at each side, so I can't clamp anything to it. So yeah, so that's a shame. I'm just going to glue this to the back. If you're still with me, thank you very much. I will get better at these, but hopefully you're just having a nice little time with me, having a bit of fun. Put plenty of glue on. And I'm going to do a better job of mounting this than I did the front, because the front is really not very equal at all. But as I say, my trimmer is not cutting true. Now, oh, I've got a bit of a glue splodge there. That's fine, because this glue dries clear and you can rub it away. What I am going to do, just to make those eggs look a little bit more realistic, I'm going to do a couple of little speckles on them with my black pen. So they look a little bit more interesting. So that's the inside of our card. I personally like all of the white space at the top and the white space in the bird image. If you wanted to, you could colour those in with some watercolours, but I'm going to leave that plain. So how do we assemble our card? Let's come back to this little bit. Now I need to make a hole for the ribbon to go through. So this is going to be a little bit noisy. This is going to frighten Blue actually. I've got this tool that I bought absolutely years ago from a company called Making Memories. It was at a craft show, a paper crafting show at Alexandra Palace many years ago. I mean, I've been in this house 18 years in May, and I've had this much longer than that, as you can see by all the scratches on the back of the tin. But this tool does come in this sturdy tin, and what it is a little hammer and various, well, you've got one hole punch and 3 different sizes of punch. So you take this part, this part screws off, and I've got 3 different hole shapes. I've got a little bit of acetate stuck in there. No, it's not, shrink plastic from when I made that little heart I showed you. So just going to gouge that out with another little tool that is in this box. I love this tool, I've had it ages. I haven't ever used these pliers, little round nose pliers, because I've got some more in my jewellery making box, which perhaps I'll show you one day. I've got a toolbox with all my jewellery making supplies in. I've got this long pokey tool, which I don't tend to use because on my desk, for convenience, I've got this Tim Holtz pokey tool, which I will show you one day. But I'm just going to screw that back in. I've got 3 different hole sizes. I want the biggest hole size. And I'm going to get my hammer. And I'm going to eyeball the middle. I've got to cut through 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of card. So they say that you should bang the hammer once for every layer of card. So I'm going to bang quite hard here. I've got my self-healing cutting mat down. Sorry for the noise. Turn your volume off now. Let's see if we've managed to get through all those layers. No. So I'm going to go through again. It's fine that I haven't gone through all the layers because I just use the hole as a guide, and I'm going to bang really hard this time. I didn't do it too loud because I was worried about your little ears. Still not through. I think because these are so old, they're not as sharp as they once were. I'm going to sort that out and come back to you because you don't want to see me doing that. So I've gone ahead and done a few things while the camera was turned off. I can't remember whether I've shown you this or not. I've just added some little speckles to those eggs. And I've found an envelope which fits this card. It's a pearlescent envelope, pale blue. I thought it'd be quite nice with the bird theme. I've gone ahead and stamped some things on it, but the ink has smudged because it's a pearlescent paper and it didn't like it very much. But I've just used a little flourish that I found, a little leaf flourish, and just stamped a little bird. I've tried to disguise the smudges with some silver sparkly pen, but I hope the person who's going to get this will forgive me that. And then I've just stamped that on the back. So that's the envelope. I will cut a piece of card to fit the back of this and write a note to the recipient on it. I might do a very pale background just so it all ties in, and then write my little note so that the note's from me. So all we've got to do now is finish the card. So you need to make an easel, and you need to cut your card at 4.5 centimetres by 20 centimetres, score it at 1.5 centimetres, 10 centimetres, 12 and 14 centimetres. I'm going to fold and burnish this now to make our little easel. I'm going to turn this paper over because I'm getting ink smudges. Let's just do that. Oh, I've dropped it on the floor. Hold on, bear with. I tell you what, this tutorial's worse than the last one, not better. I wouldn't blame you at all if you've clicked off. So where were we? We were burnishing our score lines. Turn the paper over so that I don't get marks on my little bits. Got quite inky fingers on this last little one. Now what you want to do with this section here is make it into like an M shape or a W shape. like that. See, I've got a little bit of an ink mark on that. I don't suppose it'll matter. And then your back is going to be like that, and you're going to apply a little bit of glue to this surface and a little bit of glue to this surface, and we're going to find a place on the back of our card to mount it. So I think I want it about like that, and again the glue I'm going to use allows me wiggle room. So let's come in with our collar. Just want the tiniest bit of glue on there, a little bit more on this bit, because we don't want it falling over, do we? This little card that we've spent all this time doing. And I'm going to eyeball, make sure it's straight. Sorry if I'm out of shot, let me move in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. This is awful. This is so not the quality I want to produce, everybody. It really isn't, but I haven't got much choice at the moment. So that is all stuck down. Now it stands up. You can't see because it's out of shot. It stands up. That's good, isn't it? So the next bit we need to do is thread our ribbon through. Let's move that little book out the way. I've got dreamies to see if the cat will come, because I know a lot of you have missed her. They say rattle and the cat will come running, but I think she's gone into Ella's room actually. Oh, she's here. Want some of these? Come on, if you come. If you come and see your adoring public. No, she's not going to. I'll leave them there in case she does jump up. But we need to find some ribbon. So I've got this big ribbon box. And I've got all sorts of ribbons in here. Perhaps I'll show you one day. But I'm just going to go for my black ribbon. Haven't got very much of this left. Need to get some more. And what you want to do, you want to thread it through the hole. Get quite a bit, and then open this little pocket here, sit this in on top of the ribbon like that. Here she is. She's out of shot, but she is on the table, and you press it down, and I can see I need a bit more ribbon on this side because I want to be able to tie a decent knot, but that gives me a good guide of how much ribbon I need. Chop that off there. She's sitting looking out the window, but she's out of shot so you can't see her, and I'm just going to pop that inside and you could tie a little knot, a little bow. I'm not very good at tying bows. We'll do our best. Oh, very fiddly. That's another side effect of chemotherapy. You get something called peripheral neuropathy, and you lose a little bit of feeling in the end of your fingers and your toes. It is coming back, the feeling, but I'm a bit all fingers and thumbs. So there you can see I've tied a bow, and I shall make a little note on the back, give instructions, pull by the knot, don't undo the bow. So to be a bit stiff for the first couple of goes. See, there we go. And shove it back in. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. I'll come on with the front facing view for you. So Blue's sat here on my desk. You can't see her. I'll see if I can turn the camera around. But thought I'd come and show you the front view. So there's our little blue tip that we coloured in with crushed olive and the Cosmic Shimmer. And you just pull And there our little image is revealed. You'll see in the speckles there. Let me see if I turn around that way, can you see Blue? Is she in the screen? Look at her, she's so cute. She is so cute. So guys, thank you for sticking with me. Not very good, I know, but I will get better, I promise. She's ever so feisty, this cat. She's, well, no, she's not feisty, she's a bit timid. She's sniffing everything. She just comes sniffing the phone now. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Bye everybody.